999 videos? I did not know that.
True statement. What up, everybody, and welcome to the FB and Goobs weekly sports talk show. I'm FB,
Hello, I'm the Goob.
sponsored by the Good Time Tavern of Livermore, California. How's the Goob?
The Goob is fantastic. Today we got all sorts to talk about. We got NBA in-season tournaments. We've got Heisman lists. We've got hockey records. But first, the last NASCAR update of all time. Maybe
Sadly
not.
enough, it's the last NASCAR update of all time. Um, I might do some small shorts throughout the season, non-season, discussing whether or not Tyler Reddick is still got a team since the team's in a lawsuit with NASCAR over charters they don't want to sign. So, but that's the bad news. The good news is
It's
Joey
over.
Logano is the 2024 NASCAR champion and not Tyler Reddick. That's the good. That's the bad. I don't know what that news is. No, what a race. Not a disappointing race at the Phoenix Speedway. Um, all four drivers finished in the top six. I thought that that meant it was anybody's race because they were all within a couple seconds of each other. Um,
Sure. So you think the best four were the final four? I mean, with a few exceptions, of course.
no, no,
No.
Bell
Christopher Bell should have been in there, huh?
should have been in there and he would have won it in the end, I bet you.
Yeah.
I think disheartedly he gave up the lead to Joey Logano. I don't know. It didn't.
Yeah.
I would have if Christopher Bell would have been there, you might have seen a different race from him. And as we watched in the last 10 or 12, I mean the whole season, he was definitely one of the best racers. Probably should have been him and Larson. You know, that's like one of those things where you're like, yeah, Jeff's definitely the best racer in the whole deal, and then Jimmy Johnson wins the championship again, and you're like, how did Jimmy Johnson win the championship again? Jeff Gordon was there. So Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell, kind of the Jeff Gordons of this kind of deal right here.
Right. Still trying to figure out how to get the most points and win at the end.
Yeah, well, you know, when you dominate a whole season and then Dave Blaney wins one of the last three races and he gets to
Right.
go and you don't, and you've
Well,
dominated the whole season.
hasn't Logano finished like on average like 17th this year, like throughout
Logano
the
has
whole
not
year?
had a good season. For him to get his third championship on this season when he did not, I mean, he barely got in almost every time. And then he just won in. Remember, I told you when he got in on that eighth place thing, I was like, watch out for Logano. Letting him
Yeah.
sneak in like that was a bad deal. And he snuck in, and guess what? Logano won the whole thing. Yep, of
Right.
course. You know what I mean? Watch out that he's a wily veteran who's still young. You know what I mean? You still got a lot of kids like Reddick and Blaney and even Byron, Christopher Bell. So yeah, Logano, hats off. Um, I'm excited. Listen, is if Reddick's team and everything works out, I think Bubba Wallace works out well. You know, I'm excited for, we need one more driver, a team with three, Hendricks with four, Penske with, that just bigger teams help a lot. It's way better when you got a bigger team. You know what I mean? So if we could just maybe get one more driver in there, that'd be nice. But no, I like where Reddick's going. I like his race style. He has to improve on the last four races. I know he won the one, but he really needs to improve on Phoenix because he could not improve his speed for the whole race. He was the sixth place car. So all you got to do is be better than sixth place and you beat Tyler Reddick.
Right.
And that was the other three drivers that were better than Tyler Reddick. So I'm excited. But that's it. We don't have to talk about NASCAR for the rest of for a while.
For a
You
couple
may
months anyway.
you may put up your next topic sign. I will not mention the word NASCAR again for the next 3 or 4 months.
Next topic.
Next topic. Um, listen, NBA, but just as a quick shout out, because you just said it a little bit ago, Kentucky Wildcats beat Duke. That's the first time since 2015. So that's a pre-NBA thing. So
I love when Duke loses, no matter to
you
who.
love when Duke loses. I love when Kentucky wins. I love it when we beat Duke in the first time in 9 years. I was kind of taken back by that little stat. That stat took me I was like, wow, really? We haven't beat
Well, how many
Duke
times have
in,
you played, really? Just few, probably.
I mean, Okay, but still, 9 years we haven't played Duke and beat them. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, true that. No,
Uh, we got to
Steph
win
Curry's
tonight,
not
though.
disappointed.
We got to win tonight, though, and the Knicks got to win. And they took Embiid's comeback game, or
Oh,
the
well played.
return of Embiid, and the Knicks beat them by 12.
Beaten
So
by 12. Paul George played pretty well, but yeah, Embiid didn't do much. I
George
think.
was the high leading scorer, I think, 29 points, I believe Paul put up. And
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and you
so
guys like every single player on our team had 14. And somehow you crushed them.
really that's unusual because usually it's just the two guys shooting 20 something. And then, listen, I went through the bench thing. It's like the first 5 or 6 players score like 11. And then after 11, it just drastically drops off to like 5 and 4 and 3 and 1 and 1 and 1, where it's like, wow, nobody else really scores on that team. If you're one of the struggles, last week I told you no bench. We had Grimes quickly, Hartenstein. We've gone from that to Jericho Sims, Cameron Payne. You know what I mean? It's like, shoot,
Yeah.
we've really gone down on the bench category with the New York Knicks. So,
Yeah.
but as I told you, Kolek is going to be the number one guy off the bench. He's getting 6 minutes, putting up 4 points. The other guy coming off the bench is getting 15 minutes, putting up 5 points.
I mean, maybe he is the next Mark Price. Who
He,
knows?
he is the next Mark Price, Steve Nash. I'm telling you right now, don't give up on my boy Kolek from Marquette. I'm just letting you know. When I see that, when I see somebody only getting 6 minutes and putting up one less point than the guy coming off the bench who's getting who's getting 15 minutes, I'm like, well, we got to make some changes here somewhere. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe this kid needs some more time. One's a point
That's
guard, one's
possible.
a small guard, but we'll see. I don't know. I really like Kolek.
Yeah.
Cavaliers not missing a beat.
Whew. Man, 12-0. Mobley's playing like an MVP. Yeah, there's no slowing him down right now.
No,
I'm
12 and
I'm loving
0.
him. Yeah.
I mean, they beat the Celtics. I mean, it's
They've
not
beaten
like
everyone. They
they
beat the
beat the
Warriors by like
Knicks.
30. They beat us by like 30.
It's not like it's not like they've only played the Pistons and the Hornets and the Wizards and the Sixers and the Bucks. They've played
Right.
really, really good teams.
For real.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
played
no, I'm loving the Cavs.
yeah. Maybe Donovan Mitchell found the right home.
I mean,
I
he's been
thought,
there for 5 years already, but yeah. Maybe
I
he
thought,
didn't leave. Maybe he didn't leave though. Maybe he shouldn't have left.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I thought this was the year they disbanded. That's what you said at the beginning of the year, and they'd only keep a couple players, and they're 12 and 0. That's what you said. You said they'd disband, they'd be done, Mitchell be gone, they'd
Yeah.
keep Mobley.
Weird how you remember those things and not anything else I say.
What? Well, I remember those things.
Yeah.
So, and as we said, beating the Celtics, who's still 9-2, so they're still exactly where
Yeah.
they're supposed to
The
be.
Hawks beat them tonight as part of that whole tournament thing. Yeah, the Celtics lost tonight to the Hawks by one.
So Celtics are now 9-3.
3 losses for the C's, but they're still
Nice. And the
the
Knicks
still the
won, so they're 5-5.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, the East is terrible. It's those two teams and then everyone else looking for help.
The East is terrible. Like only 4 teams above 500. I think the Knicks are in fourth place at 5-5, and after that it's 5-6, 5-7, and
Yeah.
really bad numbers after that, like
Man,
two
the
and
Pistons
eight,
are in
two
the
and eight.
playoffs. That's horrendous.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, especially when you look at the West,
Woo.
and the West has got 10 teams above. I mean, they only have 4 teams below 500. So 4 teams below 500, 10 teams below 500.
Indeed.
Shows you the parity between the two. Again, I thought the East was coming back. Not even close. It's
No.
once again, it's just 1 or 2 teams in the East, and the rest of the teams are in the West.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been said yet before, but watch out for the Spurs again. Somehow they're like a very good team. Like 11th or 12th best team, so they could miss out on the play-in, the playoffs altogether, and end up with another Wembanyama next year. And then they got Wemby and another number one pick. I mean, don't be surprised if the Spurs somehow end up with a number one pick next year and ruin basketball for everyone for the next 15 years.
So you're good. You're saying another David Robinson,
Tim Duncan Except this
situation where
time
you,
they're only 2 years apart.
yeah, right. Except for this time, they're only 2 years apart, and not 13 years apart.
Oh, yeah.
It's frightening.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll worry about that when it happens. Right now, I'm just celebrating Stephen Curry hitting a huge three right in Klay Thompson's face. They beat the Mavs, so they won their playoff play-in game or in-season tournament game, whatever you like to call it.
When did that in-season tournament start again? Sorry.
We had game 1 of group play today.
Nice.
There's 3 groups in each conference. We get the winner of each group and 1 wild card goes into some quarterfinal thing, and winner take all, 1 single elimination thing.
So you're saying that the Knicks beat the 76ers tonight in the first game of the
group
tournament?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
The rest of your group's not very good, so I'd say you guys are in good shape to win that little group.
Are the Cavs and the Celtics in that group?
Nah, they got their own group. It's the Cavs are in the Celtics group.
Nice.
Yeah, so that other group C, there's nobody good in it. That's pretty funny.
Nice. I'll take it.
Yeah, take it.
I'll take it. Maybe that was our plan the whole time. We just kind of skipped our way into the group thing to get a low seeding. And now we're just going to start dominating the whole basketball league with Kolek coming off the bench. Nuggets back to rare form. I see Joker's 4th and 1st and 1st or some shit like that already.
I don't know. They're doing with smoke and mirrors and Jokers right now. That whole Denver thing is going to fall apart. Their lineup is worse than Bronny James's YMCA team.
What? That can't be good.
I just looked at their entire lineup. They have a worse bench than you, and they have Braun and Watson in their starting lineup.
Can't have a worse bench than us. We got 2 rookies, Jericho Sims.
Yeah. Go look at it, man. It's not very good.
Not very good. Okay.
Man.
I mean, I understand we put a lot of money into our front 6, 7, you know what I mean? So
right.
I get it.
You're saying Joker's making a push for his last MVP, maybe? He's got to be like 40 years old by now, right?
I don't believe he's 30.
Yeah, I guess not.
I don't think he's even 30 years old yet.
He just seems really old.
Maybe, I mean, he could be close to 30. Do you think he finishes as a Nugget, or do you think he goes to like Dallas or somewhere like that and gets out of Denver?
No, I mean, I hope he bails.
You hope he bails to the East?
Raise horses.
Well, I don't think there's any horses in New York. Or maybe there is no horses in New York.
No.
I could see him in New York. I could see him in Dallas, though, too.
He's driving one of those, like, carriages around fucking Central Park. It's just the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, he'd make money in New York.
I'd tip him if he drove me around.
Hell yeah. I'd tip him if he would drove me around anywhere. He'd do okay in Dallas because he'd be with Luca, and there's plenty of horses in Dallas.
Mustangs and everything.
Yeah, Mustangs and everything. You can have a huge horse ranch there. Tons of land. It'd be good to do. It's probably tax. They probably got tax things there that'll work for him too. I don't know. Just a suggestion.
All right. Random question. Which one do you care more about? Zion's hurt? Kevin Durant's hurt. Which one is a bigger deal, I guess?
I think Kevin Durant at his age being hurt has got to be a big deal. Zion is getting overplayed being hurt. He's been hurt pretty much. He hasn't played much, you know. I mean,
like
it's not like we haven't talked about him much. And with is Phoenix still in second place, or is the Warriors now ahead of Phoenix?
No, they're both right there with 2 losses.
Okay, so they're both there with 2 losses. So, yeah, losing Durant is kind of like losing Steph. Can Phoenix do what the Warriors did when the Warriors lost Steph is the question. Because the Warriors How many games did they lose when Steph lost or was gone? He was gone for what, 3 games?
No, they didn't lose any of those games. They lost the game I believe that he got hurt in, and then the game against Cleveland, which he was there, but I feel like we didn't really try that much that game.
Okay, well they're 12-0 too, so it's okay if you lose to them. They haven't lost anybody. So I mean, so yeah, so Durant, that's a bigger. If you're asking me that question, I say Durant because how does Phoenix, who is in second place right now, tied with the Warriors, react to losing Kevin Durant compared to Zion being gone, which is always gone, and
Right. They're used to
Pelicans
that.
ain't in second.
True. But they
You
are on the
know,
outside of the playoffs looking in right now. They might need a little Zion.
they
So
might need a little Zion here in a little bit. That so just a guess. So I don't know. Basketball's got a long way to go. You know, it
that is
doesn't have a long way to go. And we're getting serious now. It's college football. I mean, I truly think the way Michigan's playing, Ohio State only has one last game to play, which means anything.
oh yeah, we're Penn State's pretty much done as well. We got Purdue and Northwestern. I think you have Northwestern and Purdue or something.
No, we have Indiana. We have Northwestern, Indiana,
You got to play
Michigan.
Indiana?
Yeah, we have to play Indiana in two
Woo!
weeks.
All right. Well, that's a monster game. Yeah, Penn State's avoided all that. We're at number 4, just chilling.
My
Not going to get us.
question to you now is since we're talking college football now,
Yep. If you beat Indiana, do you
knowing
go
the
ahead of
fact that we
Oregon?
played Northwestern this week, which should be kind of a good warm up game to go play Indiana. If we beat Indiana, do we play Oregon for the Big Ten championship?
That is correct.
And if we beat Oregon in the Big Ten championship, do we get the bye?
I believe you get number 1 in the nation. Would you not?
Yeah. No, I know
Yep.
that part. And there's some change there for my mindset when we talked about this whole thing and how we could be screwed with the bye. And I was like, I'm pretty sure we play Indiana. If we beat Indiana, wouldn't we play? Unless there's somebody else but there's not. There's no divisions anymore. It's just one big
There's not.
solid 10, 20, whatever the fuck it is now.
106.
106 of us. So in the Big Ten. So, yeah. So, I mean, looking at Oregon 1, Ohio State 2, that is to me not the biggest deal. But I do want to just end this really fast with like, what a big game in 2 weeks for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Because if you take down Indiana, you get another chance at Oregon for the Big Ten. And in my mind, the Ohio State Buckeyes should be the Big Ten champions and not the Oregon Ducks because they're not in the Big Ten. So for them to
Oh,
get
man.
into the Big Ten in their first year and win the Big Ten would be a disgrace to the Big Ten. So I'm really, truly happy that the gods are still with us in the Big Ten.
Right. Big game for you guys, but biggest game in the history of Indiana football. If you're thinking
Ever
about it,
in the history of Indiana football. I
like
hope
if
we blow them out by 30.
if they get blown out, they might drop to 12 or 13 and miss the whole tournament. You know what I mean? But if they keep it
Okay,
close or if they win, like there's
there's the
reasons
next
to.
question. If we blow them out, do they drop out and Georgia sneaks back in? Because Georgia, as we sit, would not be in the Big Ten championship if Boise at 13 wins their conference, right? They'd be knocked out.
Correct.
Fifth conference in,
As
Georgia
it
would.
sits, Georgia's out, but they play Tennessee next week, so either they'll be really out or they'll be in, and Tennessee will be out.
Right. So a lot to
Right.
go.
Honestly, yeah, that's the biggest game for next week is Georgia Tennessee. That has huge implications all over the place. Most of the other games are, I mean, we could root for some upsets, but there shouldn't be a whole lot of crazy close games. Navy plays Tulane. That's interesting. Uh,
Go Navy.
yeah, why not?
Why not? Well, I mean, then who do you think is next in, next out then? barring the fact that we just truly believe Boise State's going to win out, they're going to ride that running back, they're going to win their games. They'll be
Yeah.
the fifth conference champion. Even sitting at 13, they're 12. Don't worry about them. Tennessee and Georgia, is that the in and out? Notre Dame,
I mean, Ole Miss.
BYU, they all win their conferences, right? BYU wins their conference they're in anyways, right? They're undefeated, BYU.
Yeah. I wonder if I guess they don't play Texas this year. That would have been interesting. They're in the Big 12 or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
With everyone that's not in the SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
No.
undefeated. So they
Yeah,
don't
they are.
play Texas because Texas is in the SEC.
That's right. Forgot about that. Yeah, no, it's all I mean, you know how this garbage goes. They're all just gonna shuffle the teams in the big conferences until they have whichever ones they want. And
Georgia, Alabama. I'm asking, how does Georgia and Alabama get back in? You're saying because of Tennessee, but Tennessee's played very well. Miami losing was interesting because I thought Miami put themselves in a place where one more loss could cause Miami to allow Georgia or Alabama to stay even with another loss. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
right. But the ACC gets somebody.
right. And
So
they're going to be the ACC champions, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no one's any good in the ACC except for them,
Right, except for them.
and
Well,
they're
who
not
would
that
they
great.
well, who would they play? Duke?
Yeah, probably.
Go Duke. Could Duke get in if they win the ACC championship and Miami loses another game? Uh-oh.
I think so.
All right, there we go. So Duke still has a chance, right? Just because I thought Duke has played very well all year long. So, well, all right. Well, this week is Tennessee and Georgia.
Tennessee and Georgia. I did want to ask you about the Heisman's because we're pretty much down to a final four. We got four main guys for the Heisman. My
Okay.
boy Gene T, running back from Boise, of course.
Of course.
We've got a couple quarterbacks. Gabriel from Oregon, Cam Ward still from Miami, despite the loss, he still threw for like 400 yards.
Right.
And Travis Hunter, who is the Vegas favorite at this moment in time.
He's still in it.
He's the
Kid
favorite.
from Georgia is definitely taking himself out of it because he's become an interception machine and lost almost, well, didn't lose, but then lost. So
Yeah, no,
lost, didn't, lost, but played
yeah.
tap bad.
Carson Beck is not on the list, even of the also rans. We got Milrow from Alabama, Dart from
Milrow,
Ole Miss.
no Buckeyes.
Yeah, the freshman wide receivers kind of played themselves out of that by
Yeah,
just being pretty averagely good.
on a team with a bunch of other great players. Tough to,
Oh man, one of those kids is probably going to win the Heisman within the next 3 years.
right. If they,
The
yeah,
Ohio
for
State
sure.
kid or Ryan Williams
They're,
from
they're going to
Bama.
give it a run. That's for sure.
So can Gene T win it? All I know is can Gene T win it because I'm rooting for him hardcore.
I, I keep telling you that kid from Colorado is the best player in college football,
Plus, he's already done the Heisman thing in the end zone.
right? To play both
So
ways
it's a wasp thing.
like that. It's the way he. I mean, I know Shador Sanders. I've heard now he's the best quarterback coming out of college this year. So together, those two, they sometimes cancel each other out when you think about it. You know what I mean? Is he the best quarterback coming out of college? Well, then you can't be the Heisman. But the fact that he plays cornerback and gets interceptions, I mean, this is Charles Woodson stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta give it to the kid out of Colorado just because it's Charles Woodson kind of stuff. You know, when Charles Woodson did his thing, they gave it to him right away. So I can't see why not. I don't see any other the kid from Boise, yes, if he wasn't playing from Boise and he was playing for like, I don't know, Georgia, and he ran for and he ran for all these yards. If he
Oh,
had
his coach
broken
was
all
Bo
Barry
Jackson.
Sanders records, yes, but he didn't break all well, I mean, I guess it's not over yet. He could
Not
have a
yet.
couple of good games, I guess, and do
And
it.
and a bonus conference championship, probably. He got an extra game, probably, than
You
Barry.
get an extra game. So yeah, that's good for him. So if he can break Barry Sanders records, it's possible to give him the Heisman. But the other kid's doing Charles Woodson stuff. So unless he breaks Barry Sanders records, Charles Woodson wins. Because the two quarterbacks, I haven't seen impressive quarterback play really out of any quarterback this year.
Yeah, I'm excited for a quarterback not to win.
Yeah, me too. There hasn't been the Manzels or there hasn't been any of that silly, oh my, this is, oh, I haven't seen any of that. Nothing's blowing me away. The running backs blowing me away more. The receivers blowing me away more this year. So by a lot.
Through that,
Yeah. So go Travis Hunter, even though I hate Deion Sanders and that team.
Gene T.
Yes. Listen, it's question time. Hockey's coming back. We've lost baseball. NASCAR is gone. It's time to put hockey back into the program. Who are the Jets? And tell me why they're so good.
They are from Winnipeg.
The
And their
Winnipeg
goal,
Jets. Tell me more.
and they got yeah, that's in Canada. Pretty much near nothing. You got that? Got the Canada part?
Yes,
All
Canada.
right. It's
Check.
not Winnipeg, New Jersey.
It's not
Or anything
Winnipeg,
like
New
that.
Jersey. It's not Winnipeg, Michigan.
And I'm gonna say it,
Canada.
in Florida, we have the Sambonis, all the Sams.
Uh-huh.
Oh, in
They were
in
the players of
Winnipeg,
the week last week.
we got the Kanas in Winnipeg. So it's like a Terminator thing. We got Connor Hellebuck, who's
Okay.
probably the best goalie in hockey.
That's good to
So
have.
he's kind of carrying them. He's got 14 of their 15 wins or something like that.
That's good.
Yeah, and Kyle Connor is the other winger kid, and he's got like 12 goals already. Kyle Connor. So
Okay, so we got
Mark Sheffley,
Connor.
yeah,
All right.
and Sheffley, Connor Sheffley. That's our thing.
Connor Sheffley. It's like two turntables and a microphone.
Little bit.
Connor, two turntables
Yeah,
and a Sheffley. It's a microphone.
there you go.
Saying.
No, I like it. Yeah, no, they set an NHL record for best start over 16 games, passing the Bruins. I remember talking about the Bruins last year. They were like insane.
Well, since it's hockey and I want to start to learn hockey again, under that, who are the Jets? I searched the Bruins after that and went, well, they're not doing very well. So where have the Bruins gone?
That is a good question. That's just a hockey question. Like sometimes you're just not that good. They've got the same players as far as I'm concerned.
Goalies just aged and now get scored on more. I noticed they had a lot of ties.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's a groin pull involved that could be bad for goalies. I'm not sure.
It's very true.
Yeah, no, it's just hockey, man. Sometimes you just get off to a bad start. They can still turn it around.
I mean, it seemed like Hurricanes, Panthers, it seemed like the rest of the Knights, the rest of the team seemed in the right place. It's just this Jets team seemed very high. Penguins, pretty close to where they should be because they're holding on to all the players that they probably should move on from.
I should have traded 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So Crosby and.
Well, everyone but Crosby. Let's relax.
Calm down, man. Don't get excited.
Calm down.
But the rest of those guys could have got out of there. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I just wonder. Is a lot of ties this year? I noticed there was a lot of ties. Is that kind of a big thing for the beginning?
It's annoyingly so. It is a thing. Once you get down to a few minutes left and it's a tie game, both teams just try not to lose that point because when you tie, you both get a point, and then if you win in overtime, you get an extra point. But at least you don't get 0 points when you go to overtime. You know what I mean?
That's the reason for my math might not be great, but it looked at about as games go total about 24 ties so far this year. And that's just get the point, huh?
Sure, yeah, that seems about average. I mean, like I said, once it gets close to the end of the game, no one wants to risk an odd man rush the other way. So everyone plays it safe. Let's just go to overtime, play a little 3-on-3 hockey, and see what happens.
Okay.
Because points are important, man. You need every one of these points at the end of the year. The Penguins were like 3 points out the last 2 years, I believe, from making the playoffs. So
you don't have to tell a NASCAR fan anything about points, buddy.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Well, all right. Hockey has begun. What do you got? Anything? I just went on questions. You have any real hockey stuff?
No, your question about the Jets kind of like normally I give my team of the week and my players of the week, and it was Connor Hellebuck and the Winnipeg Jets for I think they've won 7 in a row now. After winning 7, they lost 1 and they've won 7 more.
Right.
Or they won 8, lost 1, won 7. Anyway, yep, Winnipeg. They're my team of the week. That's all I got for hockey. Penguins. Check out my short about the Penguins every week. but it's dreary this week. Very dreary.
Panthers 11-3-1 or something. We look good. First in the
Oh yeah,
division. Good to
yep.
go.
Good to
Even
go.
even if I get stuck voting for the Rangers again, I'm still in the playoffs. So
Still better than the Penguins. Yep.
still, yeah, by 4, 3, something like that. I don't know. Well, hey, listen, for bringing back hockey, not bad. That's not a bad little hockey thing. Brought in hardcore questions, went in strong, got best team.
I
Man,
like it. Maybe we should use that for other segments. Maybe.
yeah, well, we'll think about it. We'll talk about it. Yeah, for sure. All right, well then let's move
Yeah.
on to the my favorite topic is the performers of the week.
Who you got?
I listen, I know it's weird. I got Shane Gilgeous-Alexander.
SGA. Okay.
SGA. And I know he's an OKC, he's not a Nick, but he is a Wildcat.
Ah, I knew there was a
Aha.
connection. I'm like, you don't always have to pick a guy from your favorite team,
I
FG.
know I don't, and I like to all the time because that's the performers that I like to pay attention to. But uh first career high 45, 9 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks, 9-2 record, and leading the West. Which
Got beat by the Warriors. Woo. Big win.
listen, good for the Warriors, but leading the West where every team is pretty much above 500 is an impressive feat. So,
That's where we expect them to be.
yeah. So we do expect them to be there. We expected them to win this. So, but no, good for my Kentucky Wildcat SGA. That's my performer of the week. Anytime one of my boys gets a career high, I'm going for it. Who you got?
Nice. I got I'm doing a little tennis action today. Our girl Coco Gauff
Yeah,
won
Coco. We love Coco.
Coco won the WTA finals last tournament of the year. In doing so,
Nice. The
she beat
WTA. Nice.
she beat the number 1, the number 2, and the number 5 players in the world to win this tournament. So I thought that was a rough road and deserved a little bit of nicely done, lady.
That is a truly rough road.
Yeah, nice. Good wins.
Nice. 1, 2, and 5.
Yeah, she was down to like a point and then battled back against the 1-2. Fucking was down to it, pinned up against it. She battled back. It was amazing. Good comeback. Quality tournament win.
Well, fucking hey, go
Puts
Coco
her
Golf.
up in the top 5 now, I believe, in world rankings because of that.
Nice. Good for her. That's how you do it. Beat 5, 2, and 1. You
Yep,
get there.
that'll get you up.
That'll get you up. Well, awesome then. Well, listen, we still got a football show to go. So I'm FB.
Hey, I'm the goob.
Later.